Welcome back everybody. In this video I'm going to show you how you can remake popular songs in GB Studio using the built-in music tracker. And this is based off of the fact that last week I made a video called Monkberry Moon Delight, but it's Game Boy by Paul McCartney, and it's a chiptune remake of a famous song. And so I will teach you how to do a similar thing. But first of all, we need to look at GB Studio, what it's capable of, and how you can make music at all in it. And the making the popular music is secondary. So let's look at GB Studio. What we have here, we went into view and then we clicked on music at the top. Normally the game world looks like this, right? This is a song I made last week, and this week who knows what we're gonna make. And we'll go into music. There's a drop down at the top where you click on view, and then you can click on music. We're going to make a brand new track, and we just click this plus at the top here. We can rename it, which we don't need to do right now because we don't know what song we're going to be remaking. And we'll then look here. We have 4 channels. The Game Boy uses 4 channels, and GB Studio makes Game Boy games. So we have channel 1, it says duty 1, duty 2, wave, and then noise. And so if we look on the instruments on the left, we have duty, wave, and noise. The noise ones are already named things like drum things, right? So although you can edit what the drums and stuff sound like on the right here, and you can even change the sub pattern, which affects how they're told to you audially. You don't have to mess around with that. You can just put them down by clicking the pen icon at the top, clicking on the one you want, and then adding them to your track and then pressing play. I don't think you guys can hear this, but it sounds like closed hi-hats to me. And basically you will put the stuff down, press play, hear it, and think, is this good? And is this where I'm going where I want to? And you can you can't have 2 instruments or notes playing at the same time. So that is a limitation. However, it also simplifies things for you. It makes it a lot easier to just say it's done, because you don't have to make it so complicated as a big piece of music, right? Imagine an orchestral piece with scoring 100 instruments all playing at the same time. That would be crazy, right? So instead, you're scoring 4 at the same time, and that's all you need. So you can place 2. You can place 2 notes at the same point if they're in different channels, but you can't place the same note in the same channel. So if we go over to the duty over here and we place one down here, we need to go to a duty instrument, otherwise it automatically pulls us back to the wave one. So there's duty 1 and there's duty 2. You can see, although they're like grayed out, there are 4 notes playing at once. And this is basically how you create songs. Each of these, the duty ones and the wave ones, are actual notes, and you can see there's a piano roll on the left here, and by choosing the correct notes that follow the melody that you want to create, then you can make your melody and you can make a song out of it. And by layering them up, you can have polyrhythms and chords and anything you want. That's the basics of it. And now I'll tell you my secret as to how I recreated a song in GB Studio. So let's jump over to the web. So random song generator. I've already clicked it once, but let's click it again. Generating. Dua Lipa, Don't Start Now. So lovely. Maybe I've heard this song before. I'm not sure. There are 2 ways that you can pull you can recreate a song in GB Studio. Both of them require you to manually input all of those notes in GB Studio along this graph, along the piano roll. You have to place them manually. When I've made videos in the past, I've talked about OpenMPT, which actually let you copy MIDI files and paste them in. And then once they're in there, you can edit them and move them around in chunks, and it's probably easier. However, doing it inside GB Studio and being able to hear the exact instruments is better, and I think it's also helping you to learn what you're doing and why, so you can make your own songs. You don't have to copy famous songs. But copying famous songs to begin with means that you actually are learning how to use this tracker. You're pressing play, you're listening, you're thinking, was that correct? And you're changing it, and you're playing around, experimenting, and getting to know it so that you can do it yourself. So, back to the web. There's this website I found called Hook Theory, and I've talked about this one before. So if we say Don't Start Now by Dua Lipa, put it in here, and while that's loading, I'll go into this one. It's called BitMidi, and if I say Don't Start Now, and it searches, let's go back over here. So back in Hook Theory, and you can see here, just like we had with our piano roll inside GB Studio, it has notes. You can see the yellow and the blue and the yellow, orange and red or whatever. We're actually playing notes here. And I believe if we click a button, it shows every single note. Open in HookPad maybe? Let's see what HookPad is. The good thing about this kind of stuff is we're experimenting together, right? It means that we don't, you can see the ideas as well as me, rather than me skipping over everything. And the reason why I'm clicking on this kind of stuff is because I know that there is a button that expands it to make it look more like a piano. Currently, this is using the notes in the key of the song, as if it were on a score sheet. But that's not necessarily what we want. We want to be able to see every single note so that we can better translate it to look like the piano roll in GB Studio. You can see there are is it 7 or 8 white notes along the edge, and also there's the 5 black notes. So if you click on them, it kind of, I don't know if it shows you, but if you click next to a note, it should say. Unfortunately, it's not. That's actually a shame that when we click on a note, it's not telling us what the note is. We kind of have to know, which is unfortunate for those of us who maybe aren't familiar with the keyboard. But basically, we got C, D, E, F, G, H isn't a thing, right? We go back to A, B, C. And then the black notes are the one next to it. And if it's higher than it, it's sharp. And if it's lower than it, it's flat. So this black note above the C is a C sharp. And also it's also called a D flat because it's beneath the D. And that kind of theory is music theory. And I didn't really want to get into it, but I feel like it's necessary to talk about. So unfortunately, if you are struggling with this kind of theory, this website might not be perfect. However, we have this website as well called BitMidi. Let's see if we can find Dua Lipa on here. It doesn't look like it, which is a shame. But basically, what we do on this one, oh, there's no Dua Lipa here. I'll show you what I did for Monkberry Moon Delight. You see here, Monkberry Moon Delight. We click on this, and then it prompts us to download it. And then what we do is we go into a music program, and for me, that's GarageBand because it's free, and you can drag in that file. And let me find my file. So I'm dragging in the file right now, and it says also import tempo information, and I'll just say yeah, because I didn't properly set it up. But now we have the entire MIDI file, and what that means is all of these notes are actually visible to us. So if we click off of everything and we go to this piano section, I'm going to double click on it, and I'm going to extend this. We can see that if what we have here is the entire song broken up into all of its instruments and all of its notes. So if I hold down on this, it says pitch C3, and then we got D sharp 3 and G 3. So if I wanted to, I could go back into GB Studio and I could remember those notes, which I can't. I'm sure it was G3, was it? Which is actually down here. But if once you experiment with this, you find that the notes aren't exactly the same as what you might expect. So let's go G. Was it D sharp? Oh, and if you remember, you can't have two notes from the same channel on the same thing. So if we go G, we go in a different duty channel, and it was D sharp, and then go in the wave channel. Make sure we're selecting a wave thing, and pick out a correct note. I'm just going to quickly jump back into GarageBand to check. It was G. The bottom one was C, and the top one was G. Okay, so C. Let's go back into this duty. C, and the wave is G, which is this one. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Yes, indeed. And if we look at the noise as well, we see we have a drum kick. If you want to get rid of it, you click on the eraser tool, and then you just click erase. And then when we press play, it briefly plays a chord. That's all it does. And obviously, the way that we get around making chords and melodies is you listen to the song that you want to remake, and then you actually think about what is going on right now that's important. So for example, if the lyrics are happening, then that's like the lead guitar or piano is a similar melody, and you'll want to make sure that that's happening, and then anything underneath is less important. Maybe the drum beat's very important. Maybe, for example, in Monkberry Moon Delight, there's a walking bass line. It's bing, bong, and that was what I needed to get into it. And I feel as though that thinking about the song, listening to it, making sure you love the song, making sure you are gonna want to listen to it 100,000 times while you're remaking this is how you go about doing it. So that was very long-winded, but basically there are websites out there to give you the information and break down the song for you, so you don't have to listen to it yourself and imagine the song and do it all yourself in GB Studio. Instead, you can see it on the page, on a piano roll, on a score sheet, and then visually recreate it, so you don't have to go insane wondering if you got the note right. And it's all out there for you. You might not have GarageBand, but there are other free softwares that let you import MIDI tracks so you can see the notes. And that is how you can remake any song in GB Studio using Hook Theory and that MIDI site. And I hope you can remake your favorite songs in GB Studio and learn how to use the tracker more efficiently. And I'll put my patrons up on screen right now. Thank you so much to you guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.